Live across the UK, it's the Late Night Revolution for a Wednesday night, 22nd of March. And on this show, we like to talk to fascinating people, entertaining people, and people who try and make people laugh, which isn't the easiest thing to do. And we have two stars in the studio, which is great for me because I didn't have to even pay for a taxi because they were just across the street.
Yep.
Guys, you're in from Pete and Dud, Come Again. And I tell you, when I saw this, I nearly did, to be honest with you. And we've got Kevin Bishop in and Tom Goodman-Hill. How nice, double-barreled. That's showbiz, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a mark of quality, really, the hyphen, which Kevin sadly lacks.
I lack a hyphen. But
you don't lack the quality, let's face it.
It's almost a sign of being either a toff or very, very posh, isn't it?
Or an actor who had to change his name, which is a bit closer to the mark. Yeah.
I want to be tough.
Yeah, no, I'm good old Tom Hill. That's me, you see.
How's this show going? Because I saw it a couple of weeks ago. It was packed, and what I love about the venue, and I first went there when Taboo was on, which was the first theatre production they did in there, and it's just so intimate.
Yeah.
And it fits perfectly with this because basically it's a TV show that you're looking into, watching Pete and Dud, and it just feels so natural. I mean, how's it doing?
Oh, it's great. It suits itself very well to being a TV studio, that venue, because it's like a cabaret venue, really. And it's not unlike being at the Comedy Store going in there. You have a really kind of close feel. It's fantastic for a light-hearted show like this.
Tom, I'm just going to have to interrupt you a moment. I cannot have you sounding more butch than me on the air.
Oh, now take the bass out.
He's just one of these thesps that wants to say...
Yeah.
Two shows, the voice drops down.
Well, as soon as he walks out the door, he's been like, "Oh, that was wonderful. It went really well."
I did enjoy it.
Nice, wasn't it, Alex? It's lovely.
Can we try a little Julian Clary or something? We need...
Well, I do like to try that. It'd suit me absolutely fine, Alex. How about you?
He's on the board tonight. Any other voices you have for us?
A little bit of Pete and Dud.
Pete and Dud,
We do like to.
A bit of that, don't we?
Yeah, we do just sink into it every now and then, don't we, Dud?
Just to keep ourselves entertained, like Alex,
Well, you keep me entertained, Dud, anyway, let's face it, yeah.
I'll do my Julian Clary impression. It's much better than yours.
Hello, this is Julian Clary, and you're listening to Alex Belfield. I'm not, because I've got a life.
I just saved them for moments like that.
Brilliant.
Joy.
It's spot on. It's spot on.
That was me.
Yeah, Victor Meldrew, Richard Wilson.
Now you're pushing it. These are kind of A-list stars. I only get the C and B kind of. Nobody up there.
Okay. Well, I was going to do it, but you're scaring me off now.
Go on,
do it now, haven't I?
You got to do it.
Yeah. I hope he's not listening. Hello and welcome to Capital Gold. My name's Richard Wilson, and I'm having a wonderful time here.
Kevin, that's crap.
Yeah, leave it.
Honestly, really, you're a professional actor. You're better than that.
It's these headphones.
Yeah, blame the technology. I always do. This show's great, and I enjoyed reading Peter Cook's autobiography and diaries a couple of years ago whilst on holiday. My favourite line of all, which I'm so disappointed wasn't in the show, is I like hydrangeas, low drangers, and Queen's Park drangers.
Yes, absolutely.
And any man that can write
your favourite line?
Yeah. That's it for me. I mean, the ones where he's kind of effing and blinding, did he go mad at those points? Because there's a bit of that towards the end, isn't there? I mean, how is it in his mind, in your mind?
He was. It wasn't that he was just effing and blinding for the sake of it. I think they were enjoying breaking taboos, and they were loving doing Derek and Clive, and they got picked up by the whole kind of punk feel, which sort of kept them going on the crest of a wave, and it was a natural progression from Pete and Dud. Pete and Dud is like a clean version of Derek and Clive, and I think they just enjoyed sparring together, and they had more fun when they were largely out of their minds in a hotel room, just improvising Derek and Clive into a cassette player.
It's a funny old show, and you kind of set it up that you kind of can get into stuff easily because of this TV show, and it kind of clicks and goes from one scene to another, which is a clever way of doing it, opposed to it being scenery, and it's more believable in a way. How taxing is it on you two? Because particularly for Dud, I mean, you're on all the way through, and then you have to come on and steal the show. It's presumably not an easy ride.
Exhausted. Well, absolutely exhausted.
It's good because Dud sort of goes on there with his Hollywood sort of fame and glamour, and is very kind of with it, and halfway through the show gets his thunder completely stolen, and he's all at sort of odds and ends with Peter turning up, and he doesn't really know how to deal with it, and he's immediately, you can see the transition in power, whereas Dudley at the beginning of the show is very much in control, Hollywood A-list superstar, and then he's almost back to naughty schoolboy, by the end of it, and it really is Yeah, an interesting journey.
It is.
Yeah, it's a very interesting journey, but it's fun.
We do like to go on a journey.
Random journey.
Unlikely occurrence, isn't it?
It's sometimes, more
We
fun
start
than
in
one
a good place, in a young place, and we progress towards a place.
more elderly, more
Worldly.
Twilight situations.
Slightly
Are we still on the air?
Sorry.
Listen, I was driving in my Nissan Urinator the other day, and and there I was listening to Steve Wright. Obviously, I'd got Capital Gold on in the other ear, and there you
picking
were.
up tips.
Yeah, well, no, actually, mildly insulted that you wouldn't come on here first. I mean, what are you trying to tell me?
He got there first. Well, I think it might have had something to do with Barry Cryer being involved, actually.
Yeah.
Because,
You know what?
Barry, Barry gets they call him straight up as soon as Barry's involved, I mean, God, yeah.
What is it with the clap and Steve Wright?
sorry.
Careful now. You're going into territory.
This, so you,
this is
I didn't know
libelous.
anything about. Oh, you mean when they?
the
Like when you came in here, I went. Joining us, we got a DBN.
You haven't got anyone to clap for you. You're doing it all on your own. I mean, there's these two ladies.
Hang on
here.
a sec.
They wanted to clap.
I've got Tarquin and Veronica in the other studio producing me from behind. I've got my two, let's say ladies of the night who service me throughout the programme. And
no one else is going to produce you from behind. Let's face it.
and who would want to, especially for this money? Let's try a bit of Steve Wright sycophancy, because I've always wanted to do it, to be honest with you. And there's nothing better than having the clap on a Wednesday night. So let's pretend we're starting again. So joining us in the studio is Kevin and Tom. Oh, stuff that. This is AM professional radio. I can't be bothered. Morning, my darlings. Live across the UK, this is Capital. You like all that kind of radio stuff, don't you?
I like it, yeah. I like it a lot, yeah.
I find it mildly pathetic, to be honest. I mean, I've got a voice like a chain coming off a motorbike, you see, so me kind of going, hi, good morning, it's a great day out there, 25 minutes to 11, oh, lovely to see you.
That sounds like a Rolls Royce coming off a motorway.
A piece of coal under a door. We've got Kevin Bishop, who plays Dudley Moore, and a DBN, one of my favourites, a double-barreled name, Tom Goodman Hill. How nice it is to be in your presence, or whatever I should say.
There's no room for pretension on this show.
There isn't.
Whatsoever.
It gets no lower than this.
Yeah.
This ain't Radio 4 if you've not worked it out yet. They're the stars of Pete and Dud, which is on at the venue, and it's called Come Again. Why?
Because Pete and Dud, because it kind of kicks off with. I'll take this one. Shall I field this one?
Nothing gets past you, does it?
Pete and Dud is where it kind of starts-ish, where it starts to be on the Fringe, but it shows Pete and Dud getting together, and they start that kind of thing, and it kind of ends with Come Again, the Derek and Clive stuff. So it shows the relationship from its fledgling days to its hideous conclusion.
It was originally just called Come Again. That was the name of it. And on the posters now they've got Pete and Dud Come Again, which was a bit of a tussle over that, over whether they were going to call it that or not. But I think in the West End you need to flag it up a bit, and people need to know that it's Pete and Dud. People go, what's that? Two blokes in caps, and it's called Come Again. And they're like, look at that.
And especially with the Japanese tourists, when they're in Leicester Square, where you going tonight? Come again? I say, where are you going tonight? Come again? I say, where? They'd be there all day, wouldn't they?
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And
is that mildly racist?
mildly.
It's not the racism I was worried about. It was more the terrible joke.
They're all terrible jokes on this programme.
Bless you.
Dudley Moore then's an interesting one. Which one is more subtle and which one's easier to play in your opinion? Let's start with Kevin first.
Well, it's difficult really, because I mean, I think I had an easier job in terms of research, because Dudley Moore was very at ease with, I say using his own voice, but I don't even know if he ever did use his own voice, because he was from Dagenham, but he spoke with quite a posh voice. So Dudley Moore was always kind of very open to talking about stuff and talking about his personal problems and whatever, whereas Peter Cook was very rarely ever actually himself.
Always on guard.
Always on guard, always doing a silly voice all the time. And when they were together, they were always just messing around. So very, very rarely they ever, use their own voices. So it was quite hard to find them together being themselves. We found probably one or two interviews that really helped us, and the rest of them were just kind of like them doing sketches or doing silly voices.
Because there is more material for Peter Cook. There's more stuff to watch, but it's just harder to find him. He was never himself in public ever. And he publicly admitted it, So it was really hard to find out when he was being himself, and I don't think anyone ever really saw it, apart from maybe his wife. But even then, you wonder.
He probably saw it, and then went, ugh.
He might have seen it, and got a bit scared.
That way.
Kevin, how did you get this role? I mean, did you audition in character, or did they see you in
the director?
Do you know, that's how I did it with the programme controller here, but quite frankly, I'm not for a hairy chest penis. It didn't do me any...
No, basically, I was doing Spoons with Tom, which is a programme for Channel 4 that we did last year.
Yeah, very good programme, wasn't it?
It's excellent, it should be recommissioned.
I doubt it.
Cheers, Alex. Thanks for that.
Thanks.
We do the plug every time.
I tell you, I've got more chance of getting my contract renewed than you getting that renewed.
You're brother, how true that is. But so we did Spoons, and they said Tom had already done the reading in London. It was a big success, and they said we're going to take it to Edinburgh. And Tom was busy doing lots of jobs, and he said, Gev, I can't do it. I'm really sorry, mate, but I'd love to, but I can't. It's just the way life is. It's the way the cookie crumbles, I'm afraid. So really sorry. And I was like, oh, come on, please, come to Edinburgh.
You were desperate, were you?
And I was desperate to work. I was selling my ass on down the road. And Tom,
I was going to say, you do look like a bit like a Rem boy, to be honest. Yeah, you've never slept with Mark Oaten, have you?
Sorry?
Pardon? Just wondering, politicians. Yeah, I'm just wondering. You do have that kind of
gay
look,
rent boy look about me. Thanks very much. Is that offensive? Are you ganging up on me, you two, because you're both ginger? Is that what's going on? Because I'm the only blonde in the room.
I don't know about you, DBN, but I'd not even noticed.
No, I hadn't noticed. It's
well, he's dyed it for the play.
Thanks for that.
So you're telling me the carpet doesn't match the curtains?
It doesn't entirely. Well, not at the moment.
Man,
no.
Isn't that infuriating when you're with a lady? Anyway, well, let's move on.
What? And the collars and cuffs don't match? Yeah.
Slightly infuriating.
When was the last time you were with a lady, Alex? Just out of interest.
Well, people often
say... Not the two ladies that are in the room at the moment. No, the two nice ladies at the back there.
Yeah. You're calling my guests hookers. Is that what this has come to now? You're actually saying the ladies of the street?
No.
You said that.
No,
you called them ladies of the night.
They're beautiful. And in fact, one it begs the question, what are they doing in here?
Well, that's none of your business, quite honestly. I'm not asking you, are you gay? I mean, you're coming here wearing that t-shirt.
You just said I was a rent boy.
Well, I mean, you do look mildly camp. I mean, we look at our friend Tom, G.H., and I mean, there's nothing camp about you, is there?
Thank you. I've worked for years.
High heels he's wearing. Other than that, it's all straight down the line. Yeah.
What happens after this then in the West End? Do you go on tour, or do you leave it and you've had enough?
Tom and I are doing La Cage aux Folles. No, we're...
Have you guys seen the Moulin Rouge in Paris? I saw it at the weekend. It is the most... You've got to go for all the wrong reasons. At one point, there's a topless woman dressed as a clown pulling a donkey around the stage. I've never seen anything like that.
That's in our show. You should come and see.
That sounds great.
So, I mean, are you enjoying yourselves in this? Because it's hard work, but presumably...
we love it.
Yeah, we have a blast.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. You're making people laugh every night, which, naff though it sounds, is a fantastic thing to do. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's great fun. Also, I mean, now the audiences are bigger and bigger all the time, and tonight we had an absolute stormy show, and they really, really loved it. And even today's matinee was just, even though they don't even advertise the matinee, it was surprisingly full, and they were a great audience, and they were really chuckling along. Someone died in the audience, but it doesn't matter. But maybe they died laughing. You know what I mean?
Well, it adds to the comedy, I think. Don't you?
What if someone dies in the audience?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so. Hysterical. Yeah.
Nothing funnier than a dead person.
Actually, I did a play once, right, in Chichester, and in the run, which lasted 3 months, 2 people actually died in the audience. Seriously, they cleared the auditorium. So thank you.
It follows you around this occurrence, doesn't it? People do just spontaneously
just die around me.
Themselves.
Yeah, especially those that are really close to me.
Kevin, it doesn't surprise me that you're in Chichester and you're on stage near a stiff. To be honest.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It's not surprising to me that. Listen, I don't want to make any more comments about your private life. That's between you and your boyfriend. And listen, it's really nice talking to you guys because
it's been a pleasure.
You're naturally funny. Oh well, I can tell that. And it was better than Steve Wright, wasn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, well, without the claps. I mean, come on.
I can arrange that. Do you want me to get my team?
Let's just do a clap.
Because we've got we got Tarquin and Veronica and all the people. Come on then. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah, superb.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've got to do it in that kind of... Hi, so there you go. Thank you very much to Kevin Bishop, who plays Dudley Moore, and also to Tom Goodman Hill. He's a DBN, yeah, double barrel name. He plays Peter Cook in the... I can't be arsed with that, to be honest.
Don't worry, you'll get there in the end.
I'm too old and bored, to be honest with you. In fact, Classic FM are moving in down the street. I think I'm going to go there, and because they have like 12-minute records.
Yeah.
And you can literally die on the air and nobody would notice.
Yeah. Listen, right, don't get bitter about it. I think you're really good, right? And
Yeah.
Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, you give it a bit more time.
I reckon
Right.
you're great, man. I really,
You'll get
really
there.
do. Listen, it won't be long before you're in there with... I don't
Simon
know,
Bates.
Simon Bates,
Simon Bates.
or maybe Jamie Theakston or someone like that.
But I
You know,
noticed,
man,
I noticed
think it's on
Classic
the
FM
cards.
How
moving,
kind
they
of-
start varnishing the handrails in this building, so what's that all about?
Yeah, that's weird, wasn't it? Yeah. What was that all
I
about?
don't know, does Bates slide down the banisters or something?
Yeah, it's because Jimmy Carr wants to go home with an evening. He goes,
Oh,
"Woo!" He does the Michael J. Fox thing when he slides down the banister. He went,
Men
"I
have
want that
been-
done now."
Men have been rubbing things up in this building for a long while. Anyway,
God.
listen, I
So
better go
need to
now.
Get it.
I think so. I'd say there's a lot of it around, but I'm just grateful I'm not actually.
Yeah, you're up the road from it. Look.
That's show business, isn't it? Listen, good to talk to you. Kevin Bishop is Dudley Moore, and Tom Goodman Hill. I love
He's Ginger.
DBNs.
Yeah.
And he's the posh one, and the slightly, well, very less camp one, who plays Peter Cook. Listen, guys, good to talk to you. Good luck with the show. It's on at the venue in Leicester
Bless you,
Square.
Alex.
You can't miss it. You kind of go to the top and then keep going up. And if you end up with a load of Chinese people, you've gone too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good night.
That's always a good
Good
idea.
night.
Across London, the Late Night Revolution with Alex Belfield.
Capital